We're at the local livestock auction. This was one of my first jobs, working at the livestock auction. Here's where the cattle were kept. They have a consignment sale every spring. We'll show you those products shortly. Alright, now here, this wasn't a building back in the day, but they put a building roof over top of it now. I believe this is where the fat cattle are kept after they're sold. I'm showing Austin and Gavin around here a little bit. You used to push all the manure out through here. Nowadays they have dumpsters to put the manure in. Here's a section where they had the dairy cattle auction. See if we have enough light. Yeah, it just gets too dark. Here's where the milkers and stuff were kept back in the day. Here's a little pickup truck and a Ellis Johns. And some more toys. This is Mother's Day weekend. It's a good weekend to have flowers here. You'll find all kinds of stuff here. Here's a bunch of old mowers. You can get whatever you want.
Real drive. Very nice.
Old car. Rotary hover. Little Kubota. Lots of tires. Here at this auction you'll find a lot of older equipment. Boat. Little harrow. Old flail chopper. Old hay bine. Like I said, a lot of older kind of rough equipment. It's very common at this auction. There's no online bidding here. It's a good place to pick up deals on older equipment. Tons and tons of mowers. It's kind of it's an old feed trough. Not trough, feed bin. Keep your horse oats in there. My grandpa used to have something similar to that. Lawnmower without a wheel. All kinds of merchandise. Old runner sleds. Old table. It's not good, that thing's wet.
That would be sad.
Split rail fencing. There's some unique things here, like that. Old posts. Tin. Kitchen cabinet. Toolbox. Miscellaneous tools in it. It's amazing what shows up at this auction and actually sells. For example, here's an old garage tour. Old tires, worn out tires. Elevator that's completely damaged. So that might sell for scrap, or somebody may buy it for parts. It's hard to tell. Gavin running a Kubota. Here's an old John Deere power unit. John Deere power unit. Do not tell Nolan that this thing is here. A wire feed welder. He'll want to buy it if he sees it. So let's not tell him.
Yeah, last night Dad came and showed you guys around a little bit at this auction, but we're here, me and Adrian are here today. We stopped at the machine shop. He did not get the beater done like we had wanted. He can't quite, this is the first time that I know that we've stumped this guy, that he can't quite figure out a good way to do it. But Dad thinks he's found some stuff to do it right. And we also got the welder that we got at the Criswell farm. Has a good stinger on it, good leads, so we'll probably use that for our welder. Help with that. But yeah, we got our stuff. We're gonna go get a bidder number and then go see what's here. Our bidder number, let's go see what else is here. You rarely see a Deutz cab at an auction. It's most definitely a Deutz. Looks very similar to our, actually it looks very similar to what my grandpa's 106 Deutz cab looked like that he sold at his auction. Similar to our 13006 cab. It's pretty nice. A little bit of broken windows though. It looks like somebody took a lawnmower snowplow and made it fit for a 3-point. No, you can pull it with 3 points. That's pretty cool. Good ingenuity. Okay, I might have a problem. Well, kind of. I ended up buying these 3 wooden bats for $1 for all of them. I mean, if you ask me, it's not too bad of a price. The only reason I got them is because we don't have any wooden bats, and I want to hit a baseball with a wooden bat so bad, just because it sounds pretty cool. So now I'm just gonna let them, actually set them over here in the sun on this pallet, let them dry out pretty good before we start hitting with them. I also bought this welding cart that is under my welder now for, I believe it's like $55. A brand new one, which this one is brand new, stuck together and everything. Brand new one from Harbor Freight is $49.99, so $50 plus tax. And I think you'd have to assemble them. And I was at this auction to start with, and Harbor Freight would have been another like 15 minutes away. It's like 30 minutes from here, from home. So it is cheaper to buy this at an auction for $5 more than it is to drive to Harbor Freight and then have to stick it together. And I'm not that great with following directions, so this will work perfect, and it'll be so much nicer than lugging the whole welder around. I mean, the wheels are kind of junky, but it is what it is. I have a cart now. I can always change the wheels. We went to an auction, which is fun, but now it's time to actually work again. Which, yeah, now it's time to actually work. I'm gonna build a hitch for this thing, this bush hog that we bought, so we can drag our pasture harrow behind it. Which is basically, it's a chain harrow, and then we just run it across the pasture to kind of smooth out the manure piles. The grass will grow better. It'll aerate the ground a little bit, and then, we're having problems at times where we don't do it, where the cattle eat a clump of grass, or they let a clump of grass grow, where a manure pile was even from the year before sometimes, and it just doesn't do as good, and it looks kind of disgusting, and the cattle don't eat everything right. But if we spread it across evenly, or just run that across, we don't have that problem, and it looks a lot better, and it's better for the pastures too. So we want to keep doing that as much as we can. So I'm going to build a hitch for this thing, and that way we don't have to, then we can mow pastures with this, and we don't have to run over everything twice. I have all the materials that I think I'll need. I'll use this piece of seat channel for the hitch itself. So one of these ends I'll cut off whatever I don't need and just blow a hole in the bottom, in through it, you know, about that big of a hole right there with the torch. And this I need to straighten out, put on the bottom side of this, up underneath there, right about here. We're gonna have a plate go up against, be welded there, and have holes coming up through here, and these bolts will come up through those holes on the bottom side, welded on the plate, and then there'll be just like studs sticking up, and then we'll have holes in the C-channel on the bolt that'll fit right in line with the bolts, and we'll be able to put it in, and then it'll just sit there real nice, and the hitch will be removable, easily removable, and it won't look terrible, hopefully. And that's the plan, that's the goal. So let's do this. As you can see, the shop is empty, which we're not done with the manure spreader yet, unfortunately. But we have our beater back, have bearing ordered for that end. Didn't figure something out for that end yet. What else? So that beater can actually be fixed up. But what I'm gonna work on now is bending this straight again. Not entirely sure how all it's gonna look, but gotta bend that straight and then weld the cap on here. I think we're gonna end up torching a hole in here, nice sized hole, fabricating a cap for that to go on top of this gearbox, because I don't think it's gonna have enough clearance. It doesn't already, because that has to be in there. That bolt hole is above the bend. Then what else? Then we'll weld the cap on. We'll make that the gearbox can go in. And then it should be just assembly from there. It should be pretty simple. Hopefully it goes as simple as it sounds. What? It's been raining off and on all day. So if I can get this done before it starts raining again, that would be awesome. Here's another project that needs a little bit of work before the season. It could start as soon as it stops raining. And this bind. The disc bind we have taken apart. We just need to put anti-seize on there and slide that back on, put the PTO on. And then I broke a bushing that goes right here. We'll be getting ordered that. So that'll be here probably within the next couple days, hopefully. Stick that all together. Then this thing's ready to go. Check the oils, of course. It's been greased already. That needs to go over the whole thing, grease it. I might try, if I have time, I might try to figure out what's going on with the row markers. Them were acting goofy last year. And then I'm hoping to run it on this tractor, the 6006. And then we have a old Raven GPS system. I forget what it is, what everything is, but I'd like to, if I at all possible, to run that when I plant. So I need to figure that all out. Put it on that old tractor. No auto steer, just GPS, kind of like track where we've been and whatnot. Rope down. Over. Whoa. Don't drift around too much. Oh. Back up. Okay, over. Slowly. Okay, down. Got that all welded up. Take the grinder to it, make it look a little bit prettier. And take off those weld splatters, and then we're ready to mount the gearbox. Good stuff. We got it to the most challenging part that I didn't really think of. Now we need to put the gearbox back in. That's sitting back there. We need to drill some holes, or probably one more hole, and then figure out where everything's gonna go for it to work properly. So, yeah, I'm gonna use Dad for that because I'm not quite smart enough how to do it. He probably has better ideas than I do. Oh well, we'll come back to that. Hey, chicks. Overall, I think those chicks are doing pretty good. We've lost a few, which we had put cedar shavings in their pen. We didn't realize, me and Mom didn't realize that that's not good for them. So we're not doing that anymore. Tonight we're going to be grinding feed and bedding cattle. So doing a lot of cattle work because I'm hoping Saturday to mow all the hay here, or all my hay. My uncle's hay, which I have to mow because of the one field I got, and Dad's hay. So we have quite a bit of hay to mow, but then we'll go farm behind town and that'll get mowed on a different hay window, or window where we can make hay. Dad and Laverne have been plugging away at this machine. If you don't know what it is, that's completely fine because this is a very organic specific machine. And most organic farmers don't even have one, and it's homemade. It's a flamer, so basically just has flames shooting out of here with a propane tank off the front of the tractor, and that just basically bakes the plants. It bakes the plants, bakes a certain amount of moisture out, and try to back up Dad here. Bakes the right amount of moisture out, kills the plant, and it does pretty good, especially for like thistles, which is what we deal with a lot of in crops. The flamer does really good with thistles, but another thing that we've found to control thistles, not control, but kind of get rid of them more, is to put that field in hay for a couple years. Got about 1,000 pounds of corn in there, which is all we're gonna need for now. I think it's gonna be the end of the video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.